Xinjiang has now once again become a sensitive issue in China. Western companies that raise concerns over the Chinese Communist Party's use of Uyghurs for forced labor are being punished. Shoppers are responding to calls to boycott some of the biggest brands in the world. Nike and H&M among a growing number of Western retailers seeing their products burned in China. Products being removed from Taobao.net, JD.com, and other major Chinese e-commerce platforms, and even in Chinese map platforms, these Western retailers' locations can no longer be found. Dozens of Chinese celebrities dropped deals with these brands. The US government said that the backlash in China was the result of the state-led social media campaigns. However, it also coincides with the deepening diplomatic row between China and the Western countries over the human rights issues in Xinjiang. Welcome to Beyond the News with Faye. Today, let's first take a closer look at the current human rights issue on the 22 million people in Xinjiang, and next, we'll try to find out some deeper reasons the Chinese government detained Uyghurs on such a large scale. In 2017, Xinjiang's detention camps jumped into the International Telescope Range and shocked the world. More than 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim ethnic minorities are believed to have been detained. What are these camps used for? What is happening in the camps? Maybe we can see it better through a few examples. 29-year-old Ahali is a Kazakhstan citizen who is running a small business. He regularly traveled to Khorgos, Xinjiang to purchase goods and sell in Kazakh. On November 9, 2017, he entered Xinjiang as usual, but was arrested by the Chinese police. He was charged with 3 crimes. Number 1, going to Kazakhstan. Number 2, believing in Islam. Number 3, downloading WhatsApp on his mobile phone. Ahali refused to plead guilty, and the police tortured him, even trying to label him guilty with an excuse that his wife was wrapping a turban on her head. 1 month later, Ahali was sent to the largest camp in Khorgos, starting his tragic 1 year and 100 days of detention. Ahali said the classes, as called by the Chinese officials, the thought transformation classes, are divided into 6 levels: general management, strict management, and enforcing management. These 3 levels are responsible for different levels of strictness for the inmates, especially for religious inmates. And there are 2 gentle management for disabled people and outgoing cadres, that is officials. And the last is the Black Factory. Ahali, due to his religious belief, he was in harsh control to transform his thoughts. He woke up at 6 a.m. every morning and started classes for 8 hours. During the classes, there is an iron fence separating the teacher and the inmates, and the walls around the classroom are also iron railings. The content of the class was mostly about political thoughts, that is, about Xi Jinping's thoughts, and of course, they need to learn to sing rap songs, etc. After every day's study, they were asked to write a thought report reflecting their mind changes, and reports could only be passed when they wrote praises to the party describing the good life in the camps and how valuable these classes are. Ahali suffered various forms of torture in detention camp. He even tortured in a tiger bench for 8 hours. His knees turned back and he was hospitalized for 15 days after being released before regaining his ability to walk. Hawa, another Kazakh young man, said being raped in these detention camps is nothing more than normal. People under the age of 35 will be raped, including men. He recalled there was a nurse who was paralyzed from the lower body after coming out of the camp, and it was caused either by being raped or bitten. He said that in Xinjiang, many people want to go abroad, but they don't have passports. Since 2017, the passports of 99% of Xinjiang residents have been confiscated by the government officials. Aohan, I'm not sure about her name, another 40-year-old Kazakh citizen, is the mother of 2 children. When she visited her daughter in China in July 2017, she was arrested and put in a detention camp because she was found to have watched a foreign movie in which people were wearing head scarves. 15 months later, she dragged her body out of the camp with her inflamed kidneys, bad pancreas, and walked out of the camp. She thought that she would finally reunite with family, but what awaited her was a contract. This one-year contract came from the Home Textiles and Garment Industrial Park in Yining County, Xinjiang. She only had two choices: sign the contract or be sent back to the camp. The contract said she will be paid 600 RMB per month, equivalent to less than $100 US per month. But she could get more if she had outstanding work efficiency. However, when she started to work, she realized that nothing on the contract was real. Thanks to human rights groups' help, she was released 2 months later, and she only got a total of 220 RMB, equivalent to US dollars 33, less than 1/5 of the money based on the contract. When she was sent back to Kazakh, she was warned by the Chinese officials not to tell anyone anything about the camp, otherwise the Chinese government can easily find her. Reporter Standish, who has interviewed hundreds of victims of the Xinjiang detention camps, said that those who were released from the camps have scars all over their bodies. For the detainees, every second in the camp is a penalty moment. They eat rice with strange medicinal tastes. Some unknown meat scraps appear only once for a few days. Muslims were forced to eat pork. The 2 iron buckets at the end of the beds inside the cell contain all the excrement of the 20 to 30 inmates or even 50 inmates. Every week, they could only take 1 bath. They are monitored even during the bath. After nightfall, inmates have to change shifts every 2 hours to monitor each other to prevent anyone from suicide, simply because it was said that it is rather die than alive for the inmates living in those camps. Shocking and sad. Once a Chinese journalist was led by an official to visit the facilities in one of the camps. The journalist's camera captured various cells, including small cages with a height of 1 mm and a width of 0.5 mm, similar to those used for beasts, and a torture room full of torture equipment. For those of you who don't know much about the horror stories in the detention camps in China, let me know in the comments below of your thoughts. What is more, later last year, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute warned that China has continued to build new detention centers in Xinjiang with a focus on what the think tank said were the high-security prison-style facilities. Researchers used satellite imagery to locate and analyze a total of 380 suspected detention facilities in Xinjiang. Satellite evidence showed at least 60 camps being fully constructed and at least 14 remain under construction. Most of the 14 facilities were prisons, and around half of the 60 recently completed facilities have been high-security camps. Why the Chinese Communist Party is so eager to build more camps? Why do they torturing and reforming so many Uyghurs in Xinjiang? If you say it is just because of the evil nature of the communists, then you're right. But for the Xinjiang issues, it is far more complicated than that. We'll talk about that in the next program. Thank you for your time today. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, share the video to your friends so to help to expose the issue. I'm Faye. I'll see you again very soon next time.